Making sure video. Seem like the Hebrews, the newly awakened children of the Most High, that don't know. And if you're saying you're chosen, we know that is biblical. That is kingdom culture. It's time we put things in perspective, which is what led me to make this video. I was watching Ron something nice with Banano, and he was hosting Ron Dalton Jr. Yeah. Now I hear a lot about people, and bear with me, and you understand why I'm mentioning him. But he was discussing how South Africa had blocked his movement, and he went into now. Don't just take it as a. Don't just run with that because there's more to the story than just South Africa. Because it's not South Africa and the people that hate Ron or are going against Ron that look at us, because you have a lot of us there, in spite of what the narrative is here in America. They don't want to turn the DNA over in Africa still. But that's another story. And they on Umar Johnson about that. Man, look, ain't nobody negating us over here. Ancestors did serve these motherfuckers. But we know we came out of motherfucking Africa. You know what I'm saying? We ain't stupid. All this arguing and back and forth about that. If you ain't from there, go sit your ass to the back and let us Africans handle this business. We need to handle. You did. You're not African in the sense of him. Like when you hear African, people don't think. You got different bloodlines in that land. Different Y-DNA blood types. That's the separation. That's what kills ignorance. Truth shall set you free. That's what should kill anybody's lack of understanding to go and do your research. We talk about the doctors and scientists and researchers, biologists, and anthropologists way all the time as to, okay, once I get this information, let me vet this information, let me read it, let me study it. Let's see if it truly makes sense. And not just studying it like a lot of our people know. We do a lot of spiritual, but when it comes to the physical, it's like it's a hindrance, a blockage. I say that shit every day. Like, why we on this? Okay, we're the children. Let me slow down. We're the children of God, right? We're His servants. But for some reason, we use the world's playbook and what we learned through the world's educational systems, a religious system in this instance. That is our foundation for understanding God, because what they know was taught to our elders, and our elders, a lot of them didn't vet it. They didn't vet the information. No, they didn't. They didn't go into the historical makeup of who Israel truly are, or who the Hebrews truly are, or who the Negroes are. And it makes perfect sense because they're the people that were denied. All this stuff is is sensible. It makes perfect sense. You've been denied all this time who you are, and you're a reasonable person that has any sense of logic. First thing he's gonna do is research. Okay, when the scout with the books, the same thing they telling you from their mouth is what they telling you in their books. That's where they got it. That's where a lot of people get their information from, right? Their books. If you want to learn something, you're gonna have to reach further than that. I learned to go into Africa. Once I understood the languages, Afro-Asiatic, okay, you learn about the Asiatics, although we know who they are. I ain't gonna get into that argument, but in the sense that their land is Shem's land. Where's the middle way? Should open people's eyes. It's just reading and praying and get to action. There's an action that has to be met, that has to be taken in order to meet in order to meet the expectations that you read. But yeah, Ron, I support Ron Dalton Jr. and I'm gonna continue supporting him. And I make T-shirts. I'm gonna start making them. I asked that before, but I see what he and I move with a matter of respect in doing what I do. Because he's a Hebrew, that don't mean I should go just picking up his things and print, run. But we have the streets. We don't need a social media. We don't need. I always said that. I don't understand why Hebrews with land didn't open the land up, the environment to truly show our power. That would have been an occasion for more than just seeing a movie, because then we developing networks, communications, networks. We know who to reach. We're able to resolve things in a quicker amount of time, which is beneficial for the nation as a whole. The rest of the people gonna follow us. We ain't gotta talk about politics and the effect that it's having on our people every 5 minutes. No, you don't. Because so as we go, they're gonna go. Thanks for the like. I appreciate it. Get my nappy head off this camera. Peace and blessings. Peace and blessings. I ain't know nobody was on here. I'm sitting here looking out the window. Be all in the camera. Especially when I just woke up with a nappy head. But back to the story. Peace and blessings. Peace and blessings. And I apologize. I didn't see nobody else. I don't be paying attention to the kiss camera. I'm not putting the kiss camera in front of me. So much information I want to run through. Ron Dalton Jr. I always said Hebrews to Negroes is an all-around winner in the case of us proving our point to ourselves and having a foundation which to come under. Like, think of it from a business perspective. Anything, you could turn a building into a business. You know, you could turn a person into a business. Think of it like that. Hebrews to Negroes covers a whole array of, okay, history, geography, anthropology. You want to study genetics, you know, all this arguing, we being sidelined trying to prove who we are, where we from or where we're not from. The genetic information that comes out of there can answer any questions. A lot of people say they don't follow DNA, they don't believe DNA, but you believe verdicts from court cases that use DNA. You believe the doctor when he told you that was your child she was having, didn't you? Like, we'll make some of our arguments be futile. And if we pay attention, we'll realize we're really moving in the signs of the enemy. Only the enemy moves in confusion. The Most High, from the onset, I understand the Most High is not the author of confusion. So anything I'm dealing with on that vibration, yeah, it may be some pushback or you know, but ultimately it's a go. You know, because you're dealing with the Most High, we're not dealing with man and man's pseudo information and how to approach the things of the eternal. These are eternal in the sense that, like what I'm hearing with Ron, if you don't understand the times according to what's written, It'll surely open your mind. And of course, it's led of the Spirit. It's not like you just latching on to something. And I can prove that because what I've learned from actual, actually reading and studying the information, and not just from that perspective. I've used college, I've used biologist information across the board, not just black people, but the foundation of it being black, because I understand through study how certain things we read, a lot of things we read, the Bible, for instance, we know of a surety. Jacob and them went into Egypt. The father told them to go into Africa and they would be made a great nation. Genesis 46. So that's why I could see Africa in the Bible. I don't need nobody to sit me down and read that. That's common sense. But for some reason, we taught not to use common sense or to reason or to be led of the Spirit. You can see the Spirit on people. Once you, of course, know who you are in the King's information, in the King's word, through the King's word. We're given this information to know and to use to bring us to that place that many of us desire to go. But it's like we don't get it. And I say that because we'll read the Bible, we'll know we God's people, but then we'll turn to the world to try to fulfill those things. And you see where it's getting us. Now, with the run, we bypass all that. The information already tested, tried and tested. You could try it and test it again yourself. But I think if we all come, if we're saying we're God's children, we should be led of the Spirit to come together. Do your research. And let's latch on, link up with Hebrews for Negroes. Even have a TV channel. I don't know no group or assembly that has went as far as the structural aspect. Like when you get questioned, a lot of people don't know what Bible verses to use to show. You have the Spirit on you. He said in His Word that there will be a sign on His people, on them at that time, and their descendants forever. So we know automatic right there. It's talking about me. I can't speak for all Negroes because you got some saying, hey, I'm not from there. I'm not from here or there. It's not even about that. And especially those that's over here in Americas. You saying you're indigenous to America in the sense that I hope and pray when our people start migrating this way. Because we know there's evidence here that proves that Africa had been, the people from that area, the East, had been circumvented the globe. Europeans weren't the first to come over here. Our people have been circumnavigated the globe, so we knew about these lands. Now I could see, I could see some of us going off, and then I'm reading from a biblical perspective because it was spoken that Israel, some of Israel went to a land where no man had ever dwelt. Now comes you have to see it. You have to see it because, to my knowledge, Africa, Asia, and Europe, we had already had an imprint on those lands. We had already been there and already established ourselves as a great people. We know this already. And if you don't know black people was over there, just go back to the time of Nimrod. That's that Mesopotamia area, Sumer area. That's the area they talk about the Middle East, where Abraham came from his father's land, Chaldea. Black people had been over there establishing greatness. That was Nimrod, Africa, You know, then you read about Hannibal, another black man. I'm just showing you minor examples to show the foundation of these things and how it's connected to us. And when you go into an area like a Ron Dalton have built, man, it just confirms things you've read. And then not only him, a lot of these platforms where you listen to the brothers and sisters teaching, you start seeing, instead of opening books, you start, as they're talking, that vivid picture starts to appear. You start creating this picture in your mind. And you seeing these things in real time because you've been studying. And then you have a go-to where you can confirm things, like I said, through anthropology, through genetics, we could retrace footprints, migrations, and things from DNA. It's a fact. I watched the videos multiple times, watched multiple different and different presenters, biologists dealing with the DNA. These are biologists. Let me be clear here, so people won't think I'm just going off the top of my head or something. And for the record, Ron works in that field. Well, he used to. He moved from here, which I know he still got family here, but he moved down to Africa. I'm sure he's still doing his work. He hasn't lost his touch. So I'm gonna start making shirts, Hebrews for Negroes, and pushing them. Anything that's pushing this information. And then the icing on the cake to me with a platform like that, and especially in today's time where you got the Gentiles getting rid of all pseudo information that they recording. Because we was here from the beginning. Even before the beginning of the foundation. We understand things in the spirit. And as far as all that arguing, getting caught up in all that contention back and forth, we transcend that through the power of the spirit. Now we are connected to that higher self, that higher vibration. So what they talking about really don't mean nothing. Because we in reality we do connect back to them. We are the ancestors of those. Those who know they chosen. Everybody don't know who they are. But keep living and to come to you is designed to. The law is eternal, which means instructions. You can't do away with the instruction of a thing. Then how would you know how to operate things? So we keep his instructions. That's the eternal instruction. You can follow these people's doctrines and philosophies if you want to. They're not going to pan out. They're not based on law. They have no standing. I'll never forget that, brother. Well, you say you're a Hebrew Israelite, you got to have standing with that. You got standing from eternity. You don't need man's stamp of approval on nothing. That's where you lose. You give your power to him. From the womb, it's in you already. That's all I want to share. Ronald Dalton Jr., check him out. Hebrews to Negroes. If you're interested in knowing and keeping track with history through genetics, anthropology, sound, information that you can truly, you can tap into and get things done. Not no we ain't talking about no confusion. A lot of us we may well, but some of us be operating in confusion, pure confusion. We got to get out of that. You got to do things with more integrity. With information like that, look, I can raise a nation. if that nation is locked in. But if that nation is not locked in, we're gonna have a bunch of confusion, family. We're gonna be coming with this doctrine, that doctrine. Oh, that's man's doctrine. We're gonna transcend that. And this is how we transcend it in the spirit. Man is beholden to the spirit, not the other way around. And with that, shalom. 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 About to roll out. Dealerships that are closed from the perspective of the industry being able to sustain itself because it's not creating enough automotive technicians to cover the projections. These are projections. If the business is just like in business, if that business, once you open that business, what are projections? These are the numbers. This is what we look to make. We selling this product, we get enough of it and sell it on a daily basis. Here's the projections. Then you go in there and make it happen in real time. I project. I ain't finna project nothing. I ain't get it. We gonna be all right. The truth is here. The light has shined upon Jacob. A light has come unto Jacob. And that light carries the truth. And that truth is a power that we truly have right now. And we at that moment in life, especially with the way the world is going. People who steady complain about politics. My solution, man, come out from among them because you gotta know when you, and that's why it's good to study that word. It's certain things you must know and prepare yourself for if you're to fulfill the word that was spoken over your life. You have to align with the Most High. That's the only way I see it. I'm sitting here thinking like a soldier, creating some different scenarios. It's like if I don't even have to even go there. I don't even have to go there. We know the time. I'm prepared. Hebrews to Negroes, wake up Black America. That's the charge. Teach the truth. Remain steadfast. I wouldn't worry about the world. We already know the earth is given to the hands of the wicked. And they're trying to stop this information too. You have to be careful. And they might shadow ban you if they see you over there looking at the information. I'm being honest. But you gotta understand, we off grid. We don't depend on them. That's why I always explain to. I try to explain what's been expressed to me. Because I used to sit and wonder, why don't I fit in? Why I have problems in certain areas where it seems like others just get in and go along and everything works out fine for them. I'm like, you're not a bad person. You're not combative. You're not argumentative. You're very helpful. You care about things most people don't even think about. And I show it on a daily, not to get, like Matthew 5 say, don't do your alms when you're giving, helping others. Don't do that in front of everybody. And I don't. I do not. I talk about the scriptures and what's entailed in them, but all praise to the Most High. I'm woke now. Make these shirts. I'm gonna definitely put them out there, and I'm gonna be rocking them joints. Because when that word go forth, when they see that, that's gonna ask questions. And I hope they ask the right questions when it touch on the Bible. Make sure I put a Bible verse on that too. What you mean? What is that, brother? Oh man, I got a dialogue for you. It's the power unto life if you receive the truth. Because talking about it, period, is gonna point you to the Bible. Hebrews is written in there, even Negroes. Niger, that's them Negroes over there in Africa. Syrian, that's Libya. The whole, man, they did a number on us with religion. But I assure you, once you come out of the world, meaning you sit down and bust that book down yourself and look them words up and the places that they talking about, you will see. Start with the Bible Strong's Concordance. And don't forget, Hebrews to Negroes. Hebrews to Negroes. H2NTV.com. H2NTV.com. A world of information. You want to tear down strongholds? Well, you could be sharing information with. No, I ain't going to go there. The word will empower you. It will embolden your spirit. Be prepared. It works, I promise you. And they can't gainsay nothing the Bible is established. That's what's going to piss them off. But we do it for the glory of the Most High. In Yahushua. As sons and daughters, having love for our brothers and sisters. Because I don't think they know the time. They so engulfed in what Israel and America doing, but not understanding it's planting seeds that's contrary to how God will have us to do things. That's the truth of the matter. People engulfed in the world, like I said, we'll read the Bible, then we'll try and act, we'll try to do the things that we're called to do based on the world system. That's not biblical at all. We have a king, we have a governor. The Bible don't honor none of this stuff we talking about. Yeah, we respect all humans. We respect what they got going on, enough to stay away from it. And if you scared, then hey, just admit you scared. But we going on in glory, from glory to glory, from faith to faith. Yes, we did used to believe, but now light has come. You are Jacob, right? The Negroes, you are the natural descendants of the 12 tribes of Israel. You are Jacob's seed. That's the difference. That's our power. Shalom.